Okay, I'd like to call to order the Township Council regular meeting for Tuesday, October 7th. Would we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First items on the agendas are recognition and announcements, and I think we have one regarding National Fire Protection Week. Benita, would you kindly handle that for us?
Thank you, Mr. President. The proclamation is for Fire Prevention Month, October 2025, whereas in the United States, the first presidential proclamation of Fire Prevention Week was made in 1925 by President Calvin Coolidge. And whereas each year during the month of October, the Concordville Fire and Protective Association takes this opportunity to remind our residents of the devastating impact fire has on each of us. And whereas the 2025 Fire Prevention Week theme, Charge into Fire Safety, lithium-ion batteries in your home, effectively serves to remind us of the importance of buying, using, charging, and recycling lithium-ion batteries safely to reduce the risk of fires in homes and communities. And whereas fire remains a serious public safety concern, both locally and nationally, and the presence of lithium-ion batteries in many household devices introduces unique fire risks. And whereas the National Fire Protection Association reports an increase in battery-related fires, underscoring the need for public education on safe use of lithium-ion batteries. And whereas the residents should follow 3 key calls to action: buy only listed products, charge batteries safely, and recycle them responsibly to prevent battery-related fires. Now, therefore, the Council of Concord Township does hereby proclaim October 2025 as Fire Prevention Month and urges all residents to participate in Fire Prevention Week, October 5th through October 11th, and to support the many public safety activities and efforts of Concordville Fire and Protective Association.
That is in the form of a motion, I would also think, Benita.
Yes.
Do we have a second? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We're going to be hearing from our fire company, I think, a little later, but we want to thank you for your continued service, and as a resident of Concord, in addition to an elected officials, you guys do a great job, and we're happy to have you aboard.
Do you want to, when they come up to speak, do a picture with us?
We'll do that. We'll worry about that later. Okay. Item number 2, proclamation recognizing Delco Arts Week. Colleen, I think you have that one.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Thank you very much. We'd like to recognize Delco Arts Week, October 4th through 12th. Whereas Delaware County is rich with culture and we are blessed with talented artists and performers who contribute to the artistic and cultural fabric of our community. And Delaware County Arts Consortium, formed in 2009, includes representatives from over 60 Delaware County arts organizations and strives to advance economic vitality of the arts community and the cultural resources to the local community and beyond. And the arts and culture organizations in Delaware County contribute over $64 million and provide over 900 full-time jobs to the local Delaware County economy. And members of the Delaware County Arts Consortium will hold their 7th annual Delco Arts Week on Saturday, October 4th through Sunday, October 12th, 2025, to showcase the arts in Delaware County. And the Delaware County Arts Week will feature performances, exhibits, workshops, concerts, tours, and other events taking place in venues throughout Delaware County, including Concord's annual Fall into the Arts Festival on October 11th. in partnership with the Darlington Arts Center. Now therefore, the Council of Concord Township does hereby proclaim October 4th through October 12th of 2025 to be Delco Arts Week and encourages Concord Township residents to enjoy and explore the events planned to showcase the artistic talents in Delaware County and Concord Township.
That is in the form of a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Amanda, I think we have a representative from the Darlington. Roberta, how about you come on up, we'll get a picture, and then if the council would like to stay down there, we'll do one with the fire company, and then we can come back here and get to work. Okay, thank you.
Here's the fire one.
Upcoming meeting and events for the month: October 8th, Historical Commission meeting. October 9th, Senior Citizens Expo, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. at the Field House right next door here. October 11th, as we said earlier, Fall Into the Arts Festival from noon to 3 p.m. October 18th at the Township Garage, Recycle Day and Tree Giveaway, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Do we know what kind of tree we're giving away this year?
Potluck, I'm not sure off the top of my head.
Potluck? Okay. That's it. We have that tree every year.
Whatever the gardener, whatever our local guys have.
Okay. On October 18th, also at noon that day, after Recycle Days, there's a pickleball clinic. October 20th, Planning Commission meeting. October 25th, another pickleball clinic. October 25th, also the Harvest Festival and Pet Costume Parade, which is over at the park on Bethel Road, correct? Okay. And on October 28th, if needed, a council agenda meeting. Under reports, the finance report. Dana, I think you have a quarterly report to give us this month?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. So here are some highlights from this quarter's finance report. Audit preparation, field work for the 2024 annual audit is complete. The DCED report has been submitted. We're currently awaiting the GASB 68 pension reports from the Pennsylvania Municipal Retirement System, which is expected by year end. Once received, auditors will finalize the governmental and GASB 34 financial statements. The audited DCE reports satisfies the township's annual reporting requirements. For the general fund performance, year-to-date operating revenue totals $3,463,128, which represents 84% of the projected budget. This exceeds expectations driven by strong commercial real estate activity, boosting realty transfer tax, and ongoing construction, which has increased permit fee collections through our code enforcement department. The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania's 2025 volunteer fire relief remittance of $206,566 is included in this month's accounts payable to the Concordville Fire and Protective Association. Operating expenditures to date is $3,433,669, which is 82% of anticipated budget. This is a slight increase is attributed to maintenance of township-owned properties, equipment repairs, traffic signal and calming measures, Additional cost stems from the hiring of a new inspector in the Fire Emergency Management Department, including training and uniforms. Public work expenditures are currently above budget due to property, building, and equipment repairs, traffic signal maintenance, and winter weather-related labor. For the ARPA projects, which was $1,882,968, 6 of the 8 projects are complete, with 2 on track for year-end completion. Approximately $140,000 in remaining funds will support stormwater management projects led by our Public Works team. Capital projects, 5 of our 11 capital projects are grant funded with $964,480 in reimbursements received year to date. And looking ahead, a draft of the 2026 fiscal year budget and 5-year capital plan is in development. The preliminary budget will be posted on the township's website for public review by November 1st. Please mark your calendars for the public budget meeting on Tuesday, November 11th, with the final review and adoption scheduled for Tuesday, December 2nd. Thank you.
Okay. Public safety, Vanita, I think you have the Concordville Fire Company and some other public safety issues to handle. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening, everybody. Based on the fire marshal's highlights, we had 56 basic life support and 145 advanced life support incidents in September that were handled by our EMS team. There was 1 structure fire and 1 brushwood fire event that happened. There were also 14 motor vehicle-related accidents and 17 accidental auto alarm events. Our fire department investigated a fire on one of the properties that resulted from the plumbers using a propane torch to sweat a pipe, which resulted in setting the studs inside the wall on fire. The fire department also advised one of the homeowners on Conchester Highway of the open burning ordinance and had him extinguish the controlled burn. On Thursday, there was a reported robbery attempt at Lululemon store. We have had Lululemon robberies happening on and off. Lululemon has been a target of theft and robberies in our region, and this is not just a problem in our township, according to Pennsylvania State Police. It has become a region-wide problem. The Pennsylvania State Police are well aware of the situation. As advised by Lieutenant Holstein from Pennsylvania State Police, the retail thefts from Lululemon are a result of both organized groups who target the store regionally and are residents from outside of Concord Township. They have made some arrests from Wilmington, Delaware, Chester, and Philadelphia, as well as other groups from outside of Pennsylvania. They are having the patrol units actively patrolling at the shops at Brinton Lake and doing stationary patrols there for extended periods of time to try to deter any thefts. As a township, we have reached out to the senior management of Brinton Lake Shopping Center and Lulu's corporate, as well as retail management company for the specific store. We have requested them to appropriately increase their security measures, and Pennsylvania State Police is currently actively investigating, and we will keep you posted of any relevant developments that are brought to our attention. Today, we have here with us our Concordville Fire Department President, Lee Weersing, as well as Dr. Hope, to give us an update on the fire department end.
Good evening, folks. It's nice to see you guys. Thank you again for the opportunity to talk. I promise I'll be brief, but I just want to give you a few statistics real quick to give you an idea of the volumes that we're seeing. So from the standpoint of a fire response in the area, starting January 1st to the end of September 2025, we've responded to 456 calls in Concord Township alone, 86 in Thornbury, Delaware County, 187 in Chadds Ford, 41 in Birmingham, 6 in Chester Heights Borough, 22 in Bethel. And then on mutual aid calls, we've responded to 11 in Tallyville, 14 in Upper Chichester, 16 in Middletown, and 13 in Claymont, Newcastle County. There's other townships that are in there, but I thought those were just the important ones close by. So our fire call volume is remaining high. So we are responding to a lot of fire calls. The last 2 to 3 years, our call volumes are up probably about 25%, and it's continuing that way. So we don't see a let up in fire call volumes. From the EMS standpoint, obviously the closure of Crozier and Taylor ERs, we were anticipating the worst. It's been bad, probably not quite as bad as we thought it was going to be. So we are still seeing extended wait times before ambulances can get back into service because the ER can't take the patient. But just to give you a quick idea of the volumes of EMS calls that we're seeing, again, this is January through end of September 2025, so it's year to date from the beginning of the year. Concord Township, we responded to 1,985 calls, 66 in Bethel, 69 in Birmingham, 380 in Chadds Ford, 263 in Chester Heights, 31 in Middletown, and 212 in Thornbury, for a total of about 3,140 EMS calls year to date. So obviously we're very busy on the EMS side. Just a quick update on training. We continue to be very aggressive in-house with training. We have upcoming basic vehicle rescue class that we will be hosting at our station. We have a bus rescue class and an elevator rescue class coming up. And we've had one structural burn drill at Westchester's Training Academy. We have another one coming up at the end of this month. And those are attended by both our career and volunteer staff. So, and then we have active in-house, almost daily training with our career staff and our volunteers. So again, just to give you an idea of the volume, we couldn't do this without you folks. And you know, we appreciate everything you do for us. So thank you.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is the open space trail. Oh, I'm sorry, Lee.
Yeah, he was doing that business, I'm doing the business end of things.
Okay.
Okay, just thank you once again for letting us come and talk to you. We have appointed a community outreach officer, and this is Paul Hummel, and besides doing firefighter duties, he is coordinating all of our community outreach stuff. We have 14 events this month alone. Fire prevention at Aardvark Learning Center, something at Primrose School. This Saturday we'll be doing the Pennsylvania State Police Sunny Day Camp. And just to give you an idea, since the first of the year, we've given out over 1,000 plastic fire helmets to kids. So that's not even the parents that might have taken one. So that's what we're doing with that. So if anybody has something in that frame that they need, give Paul an email and he'll do it. Recruitment and retention, we have a couple young guys that have taken the bull by the horns. I think you've seen the signs, the yard signs we've had out there that are trying to get some younger people to join. We have a good group of 7 or 8 now. And, you know, admittedly, they think a lot differently than I do, but they're coming along nicely, and we hope that some of them will realize that there's a career in this. They are doing weekly training, and that's usually with our career firefighters. And the certifications they've earned so far have been Fire 1, Fire 2, National Registry EMT, EVOC, Pump 1, Pump 2, and Hazmat Awareness. And coming up, as Joe said, is VRT, also RIT awareness, an elevator class and a bus class. They're also doing team building things like Phillies games, things like that. And they're obviously, their goal is to increase volunteer staffing during daytime hours and get people to volunteer there. Also, we reached out to the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development about a year ago and asked them to come in and look over how we do business and what we're doing. And about, I guess, springtime, the emergency medical services, we put a bunch of information in there and they're looking through that. And then just recently we got into the fire side. And the 4 townships that we serve are also in on this and support this. They've committed to giving information and everything like that. So it's a joint effort to see how we can best make this whole thing work on all hands from the fire company and the township. Some of that may involve regionalization, but we're not looking at that right now. We want to get our house in order first. Grants, we did apply for the federal grant, SAFER grant, which helps pay for staffing. We made it through the first round. We didn't make it through the second round. That's pretty typical for a volunteer fire company. If a municipality applies, they get preference. But we're going to try again next year. We also have 2 grants coming from the PA office of the State Fire Commissioner, typically 15 to 18,000. For the EMS side, we'll use it for fuel and maintenance. For the fire side, we'll use it for gear, protective gear. And the last thing is, Delaware County has been actively, and I think doing a good job in upgrading the radio system. And they've done a lot of work on towers and things like that. They did a real good due diligence, and they've come up with a system. The radios are in, and we're kind of on the pilot program because we've helped them identify dead spots and problem areas and things like that. And I believe it is December 15th, it's going to be switching from the old system to the new system. So things are going to be kind of interesting. We can run portable radios, but the mobiles in the trucks, somebody has to come in and do them. And with all the fire companies in the town, it's going to be tough to get everybody to get it done, but we're on the priority list. So that's going to be a big change. Hopefully it doesn't affect our operations and our service to the community, but kudos to Delaware County. They've done a great job in getting this together, I believe, anyway. So that's it for the fire company. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a quick question for you.
Yes.
When I look at the fire marshal's report under total of all incidents for direct fire losses, for this year to date, it's 879,000. Same period last year was 130,000, so there's a big difference. Is that one large fire or several smaller
That could be one large fire or several small fires. We did have, I guess that's to date, we did have Patriot Lane, which was probably a total loss.
Total loss, yeah.
And the price of owning a house these days, I guess, I think that's the only reason I can think of. I can't remember last year how many fires we had, so.
All right, thank you.
Yep, thank you.
All right, thank you, guys. Moving on to the agenda, open space, trails, and recreation. Mr. Crossan.
Thank you, Mr. President. This evening, we hosted a ribbon cutting ceremony and grand opening of our new pocket park over on Beaver Valley Road, and I encourage everyone to check that out. It's a beautiful little park, and a wonderful example of what we've done in just the last few years with open space and expanding our parks. This Friday, we have a riparian buffer tree planting down on Temple Road at Long Meadow Preserve, which is another new township open space. They're behind the middle school. And as mentioned earlier, we have the Fall into the Arts Festival on Saturday, this coming Saturday from 12 to 3. And also, we have the pickleball clinics. Parks and Rec is partnering with Universal Rackets to bring adult and junior pickleball clinics to the township. Fall clinics will be held from October 18th until November 15th on Saturday afternoons. Thank you.
Thank you. Sewer and Public Works, Mr. Gillespie.
Yes, a few items to report on regarding the sewer operations report. The UV replacement project is complete except for punch list items. In the collection system, we've begun replacing pump station generators this month. 2 have been replaced at New Seasons and Mendenhall pump stations. And on September 19th, we had an open house at the main sewer plant for township staff and council. During the luncheon, we honored Terry Grant for her years of service in the township. Regarding Public Works, as mentioned by Mr. Crossan, at the Beaver Valley Park, restoration work was completed on the old home foundation at Beaver Valley Park as part of preserving the site's historic character. And with vegetation, staff has been busy cutting back overgrowth along roadsides and public spaces throughout the town. And this month, Public Works staff completed a range of projects, including painting the exterior of the shed at Beaver Valley Park, mortaring over 30 storm drains for upkeep. That's the end of my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Building and Code Enforcement, Colleen.
Thank you, Mr. President. In September, we processed 162 permits and issued 35 certificates of occupancy. 2 of those final COs were for Rejuvipod in the town center and Celebree on Baltimore Pike. We also have 11 new businesses that are working on construction and opening, hopefully in the near future. They include Extra Space Storage, The Learning Experience, Ombre Spray Tan, Ryan's Rise Up Cafe, Aflac, Elite Building Services, LL Bean, Valley Point Church, Ad Education, Tex-Mex that's going in the old arugula, and Hot Clucks. So a lot of new things coming into Concord. That's my report.
Thank you. Hot clocks, anyway. Planning Commission, Larry.
Yeah, Concord Township Planning Commission activities for September. Both the Planning Commission agenda and the public meeting were both held this month. Plans recommended to council later this evening, the DeCarlo lot line adjustment at 4 Newland Way. New projects that came up are Covenant Fellowship Church, the chapel that was assigned to Mark and Jeff, Concord Acquisitions LLC, the shops at Concord, the prelim and final were assigned to Ben and Sarita. A presentation of the Concord Acquisition LLC project for shops at Concord, prelim and final, I believe happened last month. The agenda meeting will be held on October 13th, and stated earlier, the public meeting will be on October 20th. That's it for planning.
Thank you. Solicitor, Mr. Donahue.
Yes, be advised that there are no new suits have been filed. There are no new liability issues, and the only active litigation concerns itself with a land use case, which is Concord Ventures, and that remains to be seen if that's resolved or if we proceed to litigation. That's it.
Hugh, real quick, any update on the lawsuit regarding Penzance Winery?
Yes, the appeal has been filed by the neighbors. No judge has been assigned yet. The reproduced record is going to be filed in the near future, and then it's wait and see.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Engineer, Nate is out. Mike, you're subbing. Is there anything you have to report?
I'm just going to update on a couple traffic items we're working on, just a brief update. One is 322, a couple traffic signals on 322, one at Evergreen and one at Station Fellowship. We were looking to modify the left turn phasing on 322 to allow vehicles to yield to through traffic. There's long waits at those left turn lanes. Step one was to check with PennDOT to see if they were amenable at all before wasting any time on it. PennDOT did get back to us, and they are amenable to looking at the phasing. They just asked us for some data that we're collecting now, and we'll get it to them, so there'll be another update on that. The next one is the intersection of Baltimore Pike and Evergreen. We've been looking for a while to get a dual left turn lane on northbound Baltimore Pike heading towards Costco. Turning on to Evergreen, there's a big gore area and room for the lane. One of the holdups has been the overhead signage mast arm. PennDOT wanted a new one, and that's like a $70,000 mast arm, so it was really tough. We couldn't get any grant money for it, but we proposed to PennDOT if we put an extension on that arm, they make one that's structurally sound, and PennDOT is amenable to that. So we're getting quotes on that. We're going to come back with an overall project budget quote for you next month to get a thumbs up or thumbs down on moving forward with that project. And then the last one is we've continue to get complaints about red light running at 322 and Matson Featherbed. We did about a year or so ago increase the all red time there so that when it turns red on 322, it stays red for about 4 seconds before we release traffic off of the side streets. But a lot of folks through speeding and red light running are still running through that 4 seconds. So we're going to review it. We're going to review the current crash data and see if there are any other adjustments we can make with PennDOT, and we'll report back on that as well.
Be nice to have the Costco one ready for Christmas, because that is a mess.
It really is, and just as a point, when I had someone out looking at it, they waited in the actual left turn lane for about 3 cycles and never got the call until someone pulled up behind them. So we went right to PennDOT, and that's one of our rhythm adaptive systems there, and rhythm adjusted the cameras. So initially there was people having issues getting the arrow up for the turn lane that was there, which was a problem. So we think we've fixed that minor issue, and now we're looking to get that dual left turn lane in because that lane gets overtaxed very frequently.
But it's also, of the 4 left-turn and turn movements there, 3 of them already have this feature.
They have the dual, yeah. And the room's there, the receiving lanes are there. It's just been a little bit of a holdup with PennDOT on the mast arm, but we think we're past that now.
So with regard to the mast arm, that's one of the decorative.
That's one of the
mast
decoratives.
arms.
That's why that cost would be so high.
I see, okay.
So the extension would be the same color. It's a same black color and same style as that. And it gets mounted on the end, and you really don't notice it. It would just get that mast arm out further over both left turn lanes to put signs up for those lanes.
So if we are able to add the second left turn lane there, are we, at the same time as we're doing that, able to explore making the inner left also a U-turn allowed from that? Because there's currently, as I pointed out, there's no opportunity to do any U-turns along Baltimore Pike. We restrict them at every intersection. And and it's sort of critical for people. There's no way to get to Chick-fil-A or Texas Roadhouse if you're going northbound on 202, because there's nowhere to turn left or make a U-turn. You have to basically go on applied card. You have to have been on applied card and the loop road in order to get in. I don't know if during this process you can look at making that inner left a U allowed.
We will. I'd have to go back and look to see why it's banned. I think you yield coming out of Evergreen on the other side, which wouldn't be a problem.
Okay.
And usually it's a problem if you have an overlap right where they get an arrow and the left is up, but I don't think we have that situation there, John, so we'll definitely take a look at that as part of this work. We'll have the signal plan open and revising it anyway. That's basically removing a sign if PennDOT's okay with it. So we'll include that in our review.
Okay, Township Manager Amanda.
Now that I want to throw up, see what this estimate's going to look like for this mast arm.
Why don't we just get a piece
We live
of pipe?
in different worlds
Get a
some
piece of
days.
pipe and some spray paint. Come on, let's do the old
Business
school.
manager, I'm like, whoa. Anyway, sorry, I digress. It's a lovely thing if that works out. I really just wanted to mention one thing, because Vanita handled the public safety discussion. November's council meeting, because of Election Day, is on the Wednesday. So I just want to make sure I made that announcement to everybody. And Dana covered in her financials that our budget hearing is coming up. So otherwise, nothing from me. Thanks.
Okay, any public comment? Anyone with any issues before the township, please come up. Mr. Tucker, why don't you go first with your address and what your question or observation might be?
Yes, James Tucker, 86 Mendenhall Drive, and I'm happy to be back at the township meetings. I haven't been here in a while. I have 2 things. First one was I just noticed on the second page of the agenda, the Route 111 SEPTA bus stop is going to be discontinued. Are they putting it somewhere else or just discontinued? I can't believe it was there to begin with.
Do you know that? I think it's discontinued at that stop, at that location.
Yeah,
Right.
yes.
So they're not going to give it another location anywhere?
It won't be there where it was there.
Yeah, there was no place for anybody to stand
Yeah,
or
exactly.
anything like
No,
that.
that's good.
And the other thing was I sent Amanda an email right before the meeting here about the Fasciola properties. I'm assuming they're still Fasciola properties across the street
That
from
was
us.
Broadway Real Estate, which was Fasciola. Yeah. they're on that,
Their properties are so overgrown that they're 3 feet into the street.
Okay.
Okay.
We can fix that.
That's all.
Got
Thank
it.
you.
Anyone else? Yes, sir.
Dave Cleary, 72 Schoolhouse Lane, and I was jogging on that street yesterday. Yes, there's growth out in the road, and it would be good to get it cleaned up.
We will contact the property owner and get them on that. Thank you.
Thanks for the proactive efforts. It sounds like you guys saw that SEPTA problem at Schoolhouse Lane
Yes,
and
we
got
did.
on top of it.
Thank you.
What I want to go over tonight, I just struggle, and I hear a lot actually from people, there's a perception that there's different sets of rules depending on who the resident or citizen is when they want to do stuff with properties or divert from zoning and code and the rule of law and how our government functions. Obviously, we have codes and rules. You don't need to make faces, Ms. Rack. Just go ahead and respect me speaking, please. And my issue is, who's going to raise their hands? I live on Schoolhouse. I get it, the Capellis are your political friends, and they lost in court, and they've been violating the zoning laws at the property, and you said historically, whoever owns the property doesn't have to respect the neighborhood and the residential zoning and can do whatever they want. I think that's a travesty in our system of government, our rule of law, our codes. Everybody should be expected for them to apply equally to every citizen, no matter who your political friends are, who your friends are on the council. And the courts clearly ruled there was no exception with that property. Commonwealth Court ruled in Kerr v. Capelli that the Capelli commercial use of 139 Schoolhouse Lane was unlawful. And it further directed that they were to get together with Concord Township and take the steps to amend or correct that. We've gone through multiple right-to-know requests. Our solicitor probably paid for one of his kids' college educations with all the bills for those right-to-know questions not getting answered. And the last answer was, there's no records to justify the unlawful use of the property. There's no zoning board hearing application, there's no variances, no special exceptions. You know what? Why don't I leave these items with you too to look at?
Hand them to the solicitor if you like.
First Amendment stuff, I don't necessarily need to go through the solicitor, but the property, the codes, the rule of law, the system we have established, it doesn't matter who it is or who are their political friends, they got to go through the process. And it's a travesty of our court system for the length it took for the Capellis to be told, you're not royalty, you're like everybody else. To be a non-conforming use, there's a piece of paper, if it's allowed to be passed down, that goes through what you need to have to be a non-conforming use, and it starts with you had to be lawful in the first place. And the 3-judge panel in the Commonwealth Court, experts in zoning, said you did not meet that criteria, go back, apply, and get the proper usage. There's an oath everybody up here takes to the citizens of the community, the residents, and it has impacts. And it is important that we follow the codes, especially in residential neighborhoods, because when you don't follow the codes, people that want to violate those codes could do stuff as drastic as put a 5-year-old child's life at risk at his school bus stop because they can't break the same rules as the Capellis. My underlying question is, where is that line? That ethical line where the whole system says the codes and laws got to be followed here just like everybody else has to follow them everywhere in their neighborhoods. And public safety becomes more important than public corruption. Thank you for your time.
Anyone else? Seeing none, we will move on. I'm sorry, come on. Sorry about that. Glasses back on.
Kathy Cureton, 212 Bethel Road.
Yes.
I have 2 issues on Bethel Road. We need a deer crossing signs. On September 10th, a deer got hit on my property, but it fell over in the church on the other side. And I've also had 3 foxes that wound up dead on my property. But we need to have some deer crossing signs or animal crossing signs. I also almost hit 2 deer up by where the school property starts, where the Green Creek goes across there. So, but I have an animal crossing that goes from my property over to the Valley Point Church crossing. So we need some deer crossing signs or animal crossing signs, probably from the Green Creek tributary up by the school property up there where they're working right now, probably down past Kathy Slink's property, because, I mean, I have hit almost like 3 deer this year.
Okay.
So
That's something we should be able to handle. In fact, I
Sure,
think we
I think
talked
we
about
had,
this.
we had gotten them before in near your house, right?
we got a
'Cause it's-
hunting sign and we got a speed sign,
Yeah.
but we need some Animal Crossing signs.
Sure. We
because-
usually request them through PennDOT, so yeah.
Okay.
I have,
Mike's here.
I have one other
traffic
issue
guy.
with the church. Up by where the old parsonage is, the, what do they call them, the black socks that are there to keep stuff from falling into the street. It's coming out about 3 or 4 feet. And the other day, I almost hit it when one of those big trucks was coming down the road. So if someone can either move it over, because someone's going to hit it.
I think they're doable. I think we can
Thank
handle
you
that for
very
you.
much.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time.
Any other comments? Seeing none, we will move on the agenda. Next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. Part of the consent agenda is the approval of the council public meeting minutes of September 2nd, 2025. Dana, I think we have some bills to pay.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. So total expenditures is $1,257,858.46. That consists of September payroll, which is $217,862.51. Current bills is $682,615.70. And our sewer bills, which is $357,380.25.
Okay. Certificates of payment.
Yes, we have several of those. First one being to AJM Electric. This is certificate number 5 in the sewer department for the UV disinfection upgrade project for $20,617.20. Next one is to Guy M. Cooper for the sewer plant fire suppression system. This is certificate number 1 in the amount of $13,500. Next one is to A.F. Damon for the road program using liquid fuel funds. That's certificate number 2 in the amount of $122,913.10. Next one is also to A.F. Damon for the road program for a non-liquid fuel. And for those who don't know, the non-liquid fuel are roads or paving projects that do not get done on a approved township street. That's certificate number 1B in the amount of $4,635, and this is a final payment. And we also have financial releases. The first one is for 157 Matson Road, DeMarco. This is a final release in the amount of $6,228.88. And moving right along to the authorization to advertise bids, we have a snow removal contract. For
No, we're not doing snow anymore. No more snow.
Okay. Okay.
Go ahead.
A rain cleanup no. Okay. Snow removal contract for 2025 to 2027. The bids will be opened on October 29th at noon. If acceptable, we will award them at the November 5th council meeting.
And lastly, on the consent agenda is to reappoint Leslie Berkeyheiser to the Historic Commission, term to expire 10/4/28. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda? Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Amanda, I'm going to give you items 2 and 3, and I guess if Mike needs to chime in, he will, correct?
Yeah, sure, that's fine. We have one lingering project left that had to do with the Carter Way stream bank restoration. We just completed some other work in that area on Newland, and it's a continuation of another stormwater project. So that is going to be getting underway towards the end of October. We'll be reaching out to some residents in the area just to make them aware that we'll have inspectors and folks out there making sure it's a lot of clean out, I think, in that area, restructuring. Additionally, Octoraro, we are in the sort of appraisal phase, if you will. So we are required, we have 2 folks that you're required to contract with, an appraiser and then a reviewer. And we're doing that now and working with the property owners on finalizing those items. And then from there, we work on the agreements with those property owners for the Octoraro Trail. The next part, you want me to hit the authorization, Dominic, and explain what that is? You just want
No,
me to?
Mr. Crossan was going to handle
Great.
that. Go ahead, John.
Thank you, Mr. President. Next item on the agenda is the approval of authorization for the township manager to execute an agreement with CRC, the Chester Ridley Crum Watersheds Association, and their staff to do the tree planting that I mentioned earlier. So we have that tree planting event on Friday, and that's with CRC. They'll be planting 65 native trees and shrubs in our open space along Temple Road. And so this is an agreement for them to execute and do that work and then maintain it in the future.
That's in the form of a motion?
Yes.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
As we mentioned earlier, the Route 111 SEPTA stop at Schoolhouse Lane has been removed. Nate had a letter in our package regarding that, but I think we've talked about that earlier in the agenda. Last item on the agenda is Resolution 36 of 2025, preliminary final land development lot line adjustment for Newland Way. I don't know if I should be handing this off to you and/or Mr.
No, that's fine. So to orient everyone, this involves township property, open space property that's behind the Wawa, which is located at 202 in Amons Creek Road, and that backs up to the DeCarlo property, and DeCarlo is at 4 Newland Way. To set the stage, the DeCarlos had, or the previous folks that owned the property, had built a structure that was allegedly partially on township property. There had been 2 surveys, and there was some confusion on the surveys as to who owned what. So to avoid a property dispute and litigation, it was decided and recommended to this board, in which the board said go ahead and proceed. If you'll recall earlier in the year, that the township would take that open space, and it's a piece of open space that's approximately runs 30 feet wide and runs the length of the 2 properties, and straighten out the property lines once and for all, and to remove any claims for adverse possession, and to remove any structures from township property, and to avoid any liability issues. The cost for the deed preparation and the recording of the deeds will be paid by DeCarlo. And that's essentially it.
So it's basically to correct the mistake that was made years ago. Fortunately, we now own the ground and are able to remedy this. I understand some things were built on it that at the time I don't think our permit process was as involved as it is now, and was never picked up. And this
That's correct. And this will have no adverse effect on any neighboring properties or anything to that
All
effect.
right, so if my colleagues don't mind, I'm going to read into the record the approval of a minor subdivision lot line change for the DeCarlo property, as you mentioned. I'm going to turn this, if it starts humming again, I want to shut it off, but okay. Number 1 is compliance with all comments contained in the Pannoni review letter dated September 5th, 2025. All the letters referenced are attached as exhibits. Number 2, compliance with all comments contained in the HRG email dated August 18th, 2025. Number 3, compliance with all comments contained in the fire marshal's email dated August 19th, 2025. 4, compliance with all comments contained in Delaware County Planning Department review letter dated September 19th, 2025. 5, plans will be submitted in electronic format acceptable to the township and the engineer. 6, revised deeds for each parcel are to be submitted for review and approval by the township engineer and township solicitor prior to the release of the signed plans. And number 7, signed, sealed surveyor certification and placements of monuments and pins must be filed with the township prior to recording the plan. Do we have a motion to approve this resolution?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
I have a question.
Sure.
With regard to this overall adjustment, Hugh, why was the decision made to grant the entire length of the property versus just carve out where the encroachment was?
Part of it was because the lot lines, there were 2 different surveys. So instead of having a wiggle waggle, and it was a straight line before, supposedly, but there were 2 different lines, so this is just to clean it up. I mean, I guess theoretically you could do some kind of a curve or something, but...
I was just thinking about in other situations, like over on Beaver Valley Road, we've also had encroachments with people's sheds on township open space, and we've actually just granted them an easement as opposed to...
Well, in that case, we granted them a license. not an easement. So the license, he could, you're talking about where the new park
Yeah.
is?
Yep.
Yeah, that was a license. We allow him to keep that there until he moves from the property, then the shed has to be removed. This situation, I mean, look, I don't know all the historical ins and outs. I'm not so sure, to be quite frank about it, that the township didn't approve, you know, the location of the shed or the pool type of thing.
Yeah.
Because
It's
of the
just
confusion.
A third of an acre seems like a lot. I mean, in some places, that's a building lot. Does this addition to him affect the ability for him to have any additional building lots on
No.
that? It does, because he already has 2 acres?
Yep, no, it does not.
Okay.
In your mind's eye, and the plans in the back, again, it's 30 feet wide, and it runs along the, you know, both property lines.
Yeah, okay,
All right,
very
so
good, thank you.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Conditions acceptable to the applicant? Is the applicant here tonight? No? Okay. Anyway, that's good. And the last item on the agenda is a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Good night.
Good night.